Bills, Chiefs, Giants, Cowboys. Trying to decide what the 5 should be.
Browns, Chargers.
Yeah, Browns, Chargers, Niners, Cardinals, Bills, Chiefs, definitely.
All 3 of those. I think we should do the Giants and Cowboys.
Giants, Cowboys, and I mean Packers, Bengals. That's 2, 3, and 1 teams.
Surprisingly, yeah. Let's do it.
All right.
You want to touch on Thursday night's game quick?
Yeah, we could. I mean, I think some things happened there we're talking about.
Russell Wilson got hurt. That's pretty big news. You know, it's what are they saying? 4 to 6 weeks, possibly
6 to 8.
Ooh,
yeah. You know, did you watch the game?
I did not because I was doing something, but I turned it on late just to see if Gino could pull that out of his ass, which he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't play bad though.
No, he didn't play bad. I think the Seahawks are in a world of trouble, especially if Russ is out 6 weeks. Like I just don't see how they're in a competitive division. I mean, both the Rams and the Cardinals are going to run away with it, you know, without, if they don't have Russ. I just, you know, but
it might be the best thing for Kansas City to get back into it. I mean, I know they only have 2 losses, but I think Kansas City looks vulnerable. I just do.
Yeah.
Right. Like they don't have a defense.
I think there's a blueprint. I think there's a blueprint for them that, like, at least how to limit them. You're never going to like shut Kansas City out. You know, Mahomes and Hill and Kelsey are too good for that.
Yeah.
But I think there's a blueprint on, you know, kind of limit Hill, let Kelsey get his, and then like their defense can't stop anybody. So you can outgun them if you can limit Hill. Just getting back to that Thursday night game, it was a weird game, man. Like both quarterbacks injured fingers on their throwing hand.
Yep.
There was this weird play where a punt got blocked, but it rolled in such a way that the punter was able to grab it again and start running, and he ended up kicking it. He ended up punting it, and it landed on the Rams like 11-yard line. So it was a blocked punt that still got punted. And it should have been a penalty because he actually ended up punting it past the line of scrimmage.
Are you even allowed to do that?
What?
Are you allowed to do that?
Punt it past the line of scrimmage?
No, like if it gets blocked, like
if you can get it cleanly, you can punt it again.
Really?
It never happens, but it was just so on the play, I don't remember what player it was for the Rams, but he got through so cleanly. Like there was no one else there. It was him and the punter. He straight up blocked it. It was one of those things, you know, it was a football roll where it just rolled and the punter literally runs by, scoops it up one-handed, runs like 10 yards with it, and then like kicks it. And it ends up on like the 11-yard line. It was just a weird game. Just a lot of weird stuff happened. But yeah, the big takeaway, I mean, the outcome's not really surprising. I think we all called the Rams winning that one.
You and I did. Atticus said Seattle was going to win.
Oh, did he say Seattle was going to win?
Yeah, he sure did.
Oh,
yeah.
I think he's feeling a little cocky with that 25-5. So he's just trying to, yeah. So, I mean, no real surprises on that end, but yeah, I mean, Russ being out 6 to 8 weeks, I mean, that's a game changer in that division and in the NFC.
So they got the Steelers at the Steelers versus the Saints versus the Jags at the Packers versus the Cardinals at Washington. So their next 6 games aren't death row, right?
Right. I mean, I'd say the Saints and the Jaguars off the top of my head are probably fairly winnable for them. Depending on how
the Steelers are winnable. Saints are winnable.
Yeah.
They're going to lose to the Packers and they're going to lose to the Cardinals. I think they could. I think if they split the other games, that's their best case scenario.
Right. And then also Russ getting back in 6 weeks and not taking the full 8. The one thing I will say is I think Pittsburgh, if Pittsburgh's defense is back to full strength, that could cause headaches for them as they're trying to get Geno Smith up to speed. That could be a problem. I could see Pittsburgh. Is that at Pittsburgh or is that at?
It's at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that could be a tough one depending on if Pittsburgh's defense is up to full strength or not. That one's a toss up in my mind. That could go either way. If the Pittsburgh can manage to put together any kind of offense in that game, I think Pittsburgh should be able to win that game. But if their offense continues to only put out like 250 yards a game, and Ben Roethlisberger's just flopping around in the backfield, then yeah, they can win that one. But yeah, the big takeaway. I mean, yeah, both quarterbacks, both injured fingers on their throwing hand. It was just a weird game. It felt like a Halloween game. Like just weird stuff happening every other play. There's that punt play I told you about. It was just weird. Just a weird overall game. Not too surprised with the outcome. And we gained one on Atticus. So there we go.
Yeah, we did.
I think that sums it up. I mean, the Rams and it's going to come down to the Rams and the Cardinals in the West. That's just what it's going to happen. We'll see what happens. Although the next time the Rams are at the Cardinals next, right? That's when those two play again. They're at Arizona. Yeah. You got any, you want to make a prediction on that conference? I don't know if I can believe the Cardinals can hold it together. Like, I just can't see them. You know, I feel like the other shoe is going to drop on that team. I don't know why. I haven't seen them play, so maybe they're playing lights out. I keep feeling like the other shoe is going to drop because they started off like fairly hot last year, didn't they? Didn't they start off like 4-1 or something like that?
Maybe, but I can't remember last year. We'll see on Sunday, and let's just start with that game, Cardinals and Niners, right? Like, it's a division game. It's in Arizona, and the Niners are 2-2. Word on the street is Trey Lance is getting a start.
Yeah, that's actually an interesting storyline. I think I read an article saying, like, even though like nothing's official, but whoever, I think it was on ESPN, they were saying they think Garoppolo's played his last snap as a starter in San Francisco.
We'll see what Trey Lance can do. I'm not going to get crazy, but if the kid can play, we'll see, man. He's going up against a tough defense in Arizona. It's a road game. It's a division game. It's the highlight. It's the game of the week, probably. It's the 425 game. So, there's a lot of spotlight for a kid from North Dakota.
Yeah, and well, in the 49ers, I don't know what it is about that team, but they get beat to hell just like the Eagles do every year. Like, they just seem to have a whole bunch of people that get injured more so than any other team. Like, them and the Eagles seem to just somehow have tons of starters sitting out every week. And I don't know why those two specific teams do, but the 49ers are getting hit by the injury bug again.
Kittle's on the injured reserve. What happened to Kittle?
Yeah. I mean, that's just what happens with them. I don't even know what happened to him, but I have
been playing with a calf injury since week 1.
Yeah. I have a hard time picking against the Cardinals in this one. If for no other reason than they're the healthy team at home, not starting a rookie quarterback. I don't even know if there's a whole lot to say about this one. I honestly, do you have the line in front of you?
The line is Arizona 5.5. I think that's an Arizona line. 48.5 for over under.
I will say this, the Arizona Cardinals offense, at least from like the point totals I've seen, doesn't seem as explosive as I was expecting it to be. Other than that,
They're scoring 35 points a game.
Really? It doesn't feel like, why does it not feel like that?
That's pretty good.
Has there ever been an undefeated team, like the last undefeated team that's been more under the radar than the Cardinals are right now?
Probably not, man. And kudos to them for playing in the desert because no one really gives a shit. But they're going to have to start they're going to have to start paying attention to Arizona.
Yeah. 35 points. I wouldn't have known that because I'll admit I don't follow them a whole lot. I have Hopkins on one of my fantasy teams. And so I've just been basing their offense off of his output, and his output hasn't been, it's been decent. It's not what it was a couple years ago. So I mean, I was kind of going off of that, but yeah, I mean, I know, like we talked last week, Connor's kind of, I mean, Connor, he's been averaging like 100 yards and 2 touchdowns a game for the past like 2 or 3 games.
Yep.
I don't think this one's going to be that close. I think the 49ers are getting bit by that injury bug again, and they just have too much going against them. The one silver lining is, like I kind of said when the Browns played the Bears, you don't know with a rookie quarterback. You don't know if he can get going. He can pull some things you haven't seen yet because there's no tape on him. And I don't even know how much tape there's going to be on him anyway because he played at North Dakota State. So there's only so much tape that's going to be on this guy. That's like the one advantage they have going for him. But even the 49ers defense hasn't been good this year. They've given up like 30 some odd points a couple times already. So
stat wise, they have the edge, right? Like stat wise, their defense has the edge as far as, less points given up, less yards given up, right? Slight edge on total yards per game against Arizona, but just Arizona's offense has been lights out. Kyler Murray, unbeknownst to some posts from PFF that have been floating around the page, that Daniel Jones is number 2 passer in the league. It's actually Kyler Murray if you go by QBR, which is really the only stat that you should use when you're saying who's the better quarterback. People need to stop posting off PFF. There's my little peep. It's a paid subscription website that should tell you enough,
right?
Like it just can't do that. Anyway, Murray's the number 2 quarterback in the league. He's passing for over 300 yards a game. They're doing 450 a game, scoring 35 points, giving up 21. I mean, I got to go with Arizona all day in this. Have to.
I think now that we've talked about a little bit more, Arizona, I'll say Arizona by a touchdown. So they'll cover, and I'll take the over because 35-21 sounds about right. Although I just said they'll win by a touchdown, but like 35-24, something like that sounds right. And that's over 48 points. So
are we going to use the spread in the overs?
I'll just talk about it. I'm not.
Is our stat woman gonna turn her game up a little bit?
She's shaking her head no. So
we're just going to straight picks.
Let's just do straight picks. All right, Cardinals by a touchdown. I'll just say that.
All right.
So since we already mentioned Daniel Jones, let's kick it over to that Cowboys Giants tilt. Now I will say this: in our fantasy league, Daniel Jones is a 4th rated quarterback right now. And he's on my bench.
Who's your starting quarterback?
Tannehill, who's going against the Jaguars. I will say Daniel Jones has projected more points, which I found interesting.
Well, they're going to have to pass a lot.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that right now. To Andy's point of reference, he's going to be passing the ball a lot. They're not going to be able to keep up with Dallas's offense. They're just not.
I think just based on I think the Cowboys win this game. However, I do think because it's a division game, it's going to be a little bit closer than maybe we think going into it. What do you have the line in front of you?
Line is 7 for Dallas.
Yeah, I see more like a 4-point game, 21-20. Probably more than that. Like, I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know, 21-26, maybe something like that. I see Dallas winning it. I just think it's because it's a division game. I think the Giants will keep it closer than what we're expecting.
So I think I'm going to disagree. Right. Okay. I think let's remember that New York is who broke Dak's ankle. Dak's going to come out swinging, right? And they've also found the the super juice and started running the ball a little bit more, right? And you know, whether or not they have a balanced attack, I think Zeke or Pollard gets more than 75 yards in this game, right? Which is going to be enough to allow Dak just to sling the ball. New York Giants do not have a secondary to contain with the weapons that Dallas has. They just don't. You know, they have, you know, Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. They have Blake Jarwin. They have another tight end. So I think we're going to see the over, and I think Dallas is going to cover. So Dallas wins. I think they cover, and I think we see the over. I think we're going to see a lot of points. I just do.
So if you had Daniel Jones, do you start him in your fantasy league?
Yeah.
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 Just hope for, I mean, the one caveat to say is I'm not a full believer in the Cowboys defense yet. They've been okay so far. They've been mid-pack, nothing spectacular, but they're getting the job done. But then again, with that offense, you don't need a lights out defense. You just need a defense that can make a stop every now and again, which they've been able to do. So yeah, definitely. I don't see a way the Giants win this game. I just think it's gonna be a little bit closer than maybe we're expecting. From there, let's go to the Browns Chargers. I want to get your thoughts on this game before I kind of give my prediction.
So it's a really interesting game. I want to see what kind of fan base Cleveland has outside of Cleveland. You know, because we all know the Chargers they struggle with filling up that stadium. But if there was ever a week to see a Chargers crowd show up, I think it's this week.
Right.
I mean, I think that when you put defense against defense, I think it's comparable. You know, I think that we're going to see a slugfest from a defensive standpoint. I think it's going to be very similar to the Raiders-Chargers game, right? Like, you know, their defenses were playing lights out. You know, Herbert made the right plays at the right time, and they put enough points on the board to win that game. I kind of think that's what happens again. You know, unless for some reason Cleveland finds, you know, Baker Mayfield and OBJ blend together all of a sudden, because they've struggled doing that.
Right.
You know, I think that's the key combo that you have to watch in this game. You know, I don't want to say OBJ is done, right? Because I don't think we've been given an opportunity to find out. You know, and this is a game we can find out. They have a pretty stellar defense, though, on the other side of the ball. You know, and they got a couple people that can cover.
So here's my take on it. So first of all, couple tidbits about the Browns I'm going to throw out there. One, Baker Mayfield is playing with a torn something or other in his non-throwing shoulder. So that's kind of why we saw those overthrows and stuff like that. He's not 100%. When his arm got popped out of socket during the Bears game, he took a little bit bigger of an injury than maybe first thought. It's not fully healed yet. There's a chance he might not play the full game. So that there is that. The other interesting thing I've read is the Browns might be making a trade for Cooks on the Texans. Third round of the Texans for Cooks, which when Landry comes back kind of makes OBJ expendable. So that's just something to keep the eyes on. Nothing's set in stone there. It's just because I follow Browns pages. That's the button, like coming from like legitimate sources too, like not just like some random dude like talking about it. I kind of like that because it feels like every time OBJ's in, we're still seeing Baker try to force the ball to him. For whatever reason, they've just never been on the same. And I don't even think it's like a personality. Just for whatever reason, they just don't mesh well on the field. I don't know what the problem is there. You know, so it'll be interesting to see. I think we'll trade our third pick, get Cooks, and then maybe if we're lucky, we'll get a third pick back for OBJ later on. But yeah, that's kind of the rumor. So with that being said, I don't like this game for the Browns. We have the defense that's been stepping up, but this is the first like real big offense since the Chiefs they've played. Like, you know, the teams they've stepped up against have been the Bears. The Vikings are hit or miss. We did do a pretty good job against them. They have a decent offense when they want to. but this is a whole different ball game. I think it's close. I want to say the line was like, I think it's Chargers by like a point and a half or something like
Two
that.
and a
It's
half.
2.5. Yeah. I think I see like a 21-23 game Chargers. I don't think the Browns win this one. Baker's just going to be a target for Bosa. It's going to come down to a last play. I think it's going to be kind of like what you said with the Raiders game. There's just going to be it's going to be a defensive stalemate in the first half, and then I think Herbert and the receivers are going to make just enough plays to edge the Browns. Yeah, like 21-23, something like that at the end.
Yeah. I mean, I see a field goal game here, right? I think the Chargers edge out the Browns, I think they cover, but that's by 3, right? That's neither here nor there. So 47 is the over under, man. I think we're looking at an under,
Yeah. Yeah.
24-21, 23-21, 24-20, we're under. So, that's just the kind of game I see.
Yeah, I mean, both teams run to set up the pass. It's going to be one of those games where the first half is just over like that. That's just the way it's going to be. I'd be surprised if we see more than like 2 touchdowns put up between both teams in the first half, and then you'll see a little bit more. It's going to be exactly like the Raiders game.
Yep.
Like it's going to be like 7-3 at halftime, and then it'll end up being like 21-23. I'm going to pull for the Browns, obviously, but yeah, I see the Chargers taking this one by an inch. So from there, what was the other couple games we talked about? I want to save the because I think it's the game of the week. We're going to say Bills Chiefs for last, but
that's Sunday night game. Did we?
Yeah, so we'll kick it over to the Packers Bengals surprise matchup. Not so much for the Packers, but the Bengals being 3-1. It is in Cincinnati. Packers will be debuting their new Pro Bowl linebacker, which will help out on defense where they need it. This is kind of a tougher game, I think, because I still think the Bengals have a very potent offense. Like, I feel like the Bengals this year are like Cowboys light. They have a slightly less explosive offense and a slightly worse defense. And I think the Packers will win just because I can't see Aaron Rodgers like losing to the Bengals. But it's going to be tight. What do you have the line in front of you on this game?
Green Bay 3.
Green Bay by 3 at the Bengals. So yeah, it's about right. I could see. I don't know.
Over under is 50.5.
Well, I was going to say 28-25. So that would be over, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I see something like a 28-25 game here. I think the Packers take this one. It's going to be close. I think it's going to be one of those momentum games where, one team's going to come out, score a couple quick touchdowns, and then the other team's going to come back, and then there's going to be like back and forth at the end. It could come down to who has the ball last. Both offenses are that good. But I think that the Packers have been there. The Bengals are still learning how to do it. So I think that's going to be the difference in this game. Packers 28, Bengals 25.
So this is a really evenly matched football game, right? Like if you just look at offense versus defense, it's almost dead even. Like what the Packers give up on defense is about the average that Bengals do on offense. What the Packers do on offense is about average for what the Bengals give up on defense. The only barometer that they're not is points, right? Cincinnati's only giving up 18 points a game. That's pretty fucking good, right? So it's a home game. And sorry, Lisa, I don't have you this week. I got to go with the Bengals. Pulling an upset, by all stretch of the imagination, right? I will throw a caveat in there. If they give Aaron Rodgers 7 seconds left in the game, like the Packers are going to find a way to win, right? Like, I mean, it's just they can't leave any time on the clock for Aaron Rodgers. But I think that their defense is a little bit stronger than Green Bay's. I don't know how quick that Jalen Smith can get engulfed into the defense for the Packers. So we don't know how much he's really going to play. I think it makes a difference for the Packers. As the season progresses. I would have really liked to see Philly pick them up, but they're not in contention. So, why would you go there? But I got this crazy funny feeling that Cincinnati's defense is a little bit better than people give them credit for.
Well, the one thing I will say to what you're saying, though, is the Packers offense is hands down the best offense they're going to face to this point of the season, because the teams they've played, so they lost to the Bears, but that was the Bears scored, I think, like a defensive touchdown and stuff like that. And then other than that, they played the Jaguars, Steelers, and Vikings. So, and they gave up 24 to the Vikings. So it'll be hard. I get what you're saying. I don't know if the Bengals have played an offense like the Packers yet, which is why I'm going to give the edge to the Packers.
Right.
So that's going to bring us to the game of the week, in my mind anyway. Bills at Chiefs, rematch of last year's AFC Championship game. I'm leaning Bills before we even talk about it. I'm leaning Bill that the Chiefs seem to be reeling. I mean, they seem to get back on track last week, but the Bills are a whole nother animal. They have a much better defense. And I think if anyone's got the horses to kind of do, like, follow the blueprint of take Hill out of the game and, let Kelsey get this, or even turn it into a ground game, I think it's the Bills. I don't know. What are your thoughts? What are your opening thoughts?
Casey's got 2.5, right? Which is less than home field advantage.
Right.
They're giving, like, prediction wise, like the NFL game predictor, slight edge to the Bills, right? Like, this game is so evenly matched. It's really hard to call. They're both scoring 33.5 points a game. The Bills are only giving up 11 points a game, though. And the Kansas City Chiefs are giving up 31 points a game. So, I got to go with defense, right? Like, defense wins championships. And I got to believe that, I've been saying it for weeks. I think that Kansas City has the blueprint. I think the Eagles shot themselves in the foot, right? Like, they had some really bad penalties and they missed a lot of opportunities. Like, you can't get close or in the red zone and come away with field goals and expect that you're going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. The
Right.
Bills will find the end zone.
It's just hard because picking against them puts the Chiefs back on a losing record. That puts them at 2-3. And that's really hard to project. But I think the story of this game is going to be Josh Allen versus the Chiefs defense. And I just don't think the Chiefs defense has enough to stop. He's either going to run. I see him running for a touchdown, throwing for 2 more. He's really gotten some chemistry going with Emmanuel Sanders, who's really filled in nicely as their number 2 behind Stephon Diggs. I just think there's too much. I can't. The Bills are firing on all cylinders right now, and the Chiefs are not. Yeah, as much as I can't, as much as if you would have told me I'd be picking the Chiefs to go 2-3 at this point in the season, I would have been like, what am I thinking? I don't see him get it. I think Josh Allen's too much for that Chiefs defense. I think he has. I think he rises to the occasion and has a solid game. And plus, they have the vengeance factor coming back to KC. It's going to be interesting, really. So with them going 2-3, right? Let's say they do win this game. The Bills win this game. The Chiefs are 2-3. Of their first 5 games, they've played 4 of them at Kansas City, right?
3.
They played the Browns.
They played at Baltimore and at Philly.
Was it at Baltimore? I thought.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought Baltimore was at KC. That's my bad. Browns. Okay,
we could be legitimately talking about them going 1-4 right now, though. Like, your Browns valiant effort, and I think the Bills' offense is a little bit more in sync with each other. That's why I give them the nod, right?
Yeah.
Like, the Browns could have won that game, and we could be sitting here going, are the Kansas City Chiefs really going to go 1-4?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a muffed punt away from being, yeah, being 1-3 right now. Yeah, I just, as of right now, do you think if let's just spin it ahead, the Chiefs lose this game, right? Let's just say they lose this game. Do they make the playoffs?
Let's just say they lose this game. They're at Washington, at the
Well,
Titans.
I will say if they lose this game, so then they're at Washington, at Tennessee, home for the Giants. So those all three should be wins. So I mean, they right the ship there. Their next real test isn't going to be till November when Green Bay comes a knocking.
They're looking at least 4 more losses on their schedule.
Right.
At least 4. So they lose this game, they're 10-7. I don't think that gets it done in the AFC. I think they might maybe squeak into a wild card. Maybe.
Could they though? Because like I think the Raiders, I mean definitely the Chargers, I think are gonna, as of right now, if the Chiefs lose this game, I will say 5 weeks in, the Chargers will win the division outright. And I think the Raiders are going to push to take that second place spot. That game on, if they lose this game, depending on what the Raiders do here on out, that game on November 14th, Chiefs at Raiders, that's going to be a biggie.
Huge.
But yeah, I mean, I'll say it. If the Chiefs lose this game, which we're both in agreement that they probably will, or at least that's our pick. Yeah, that's going to be rough. If they lose this game, I think they might not. Cause like you said, I agree. There's at least 4 more losses on their schedule. They have to play at LA. They have to play at the Chargers. They have to play the Raiders twice.
They have to play the Cowboys.
They have to
play the Packers.
And I think the Cowboys their offense is just as good as the Chiefs have been this year.
The Cowboys look scary. I'm just going to say it, right? Like they look good. You know? But you got to play the Packers and the Cowboys. You got 2 against the Raiders. You got another game against the Chargers. You got to play the Bengals. You got to play.
Yeah, they got to play the Broncos.
Tennessee's not an easy out, and it's at Tennessee.
Right.
At least 4 losses.
At least 4 losses. Yeah. I mean, that puts them at 10-7, best case scenario. I don't know. I think the Chiefs are. And it's just crazy because it wasn't that long ago they were talking about going undefeated this year. Now it's like, are they even going to make the playoffs?
They don't have a defense, man. Like all their money is tied up in their offense. They're going to need to figure out a way. Mahomes is going to have to divert, so he's going to have to restructure over and over again. If he wants to win, he's going to have to beat Tom Brady. Like get your $500 million, right? But figure out a way to stretch that dollar out and make it cap friendly. They're going to have to.
That would be really interesting to learn how the cap works. Is how do things like signing bonuses work? Those don't count against the cap, right?
I don't believe so. We looked that up real quick.
Because I know that's how because usually how an NFL contract works is you backload it. So you might sign them to a big deal, but they make less money, and then you give them a signing bonus to kind of make up that difference the first couple of years while they're playing at a lower cap number. But I'm pretty sure that's the way you do it. You do that thing where you convert part of his side. Yeah, because that's the thing. You sign that huge contract, and then you're not going to be able to fill these holes that you obviously have.
So right now the Chiefs have $3 million on their cap, right? About 3 cap space. Next year, it gets better, or does it?
Well, Tyreek Hill, his contract's coming up because he's already said, like, I'm not taking a discount. It'll be interesting, man. The Chiefs got to figure something out. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has been great up to this point in his career, but a lot of it was he was on a rookie deal, so they could surround him with weapons and a good line and all that stuff. And even then, they've had an opportunistic defense. They've never had a great defense. Bold prediction in week 5. If the Chiefs lose this game, I don't see him making the playoffs.
So Mahomes only has 63 million guaranteed out of the $450 million contract.
I don't understand NFL contracts anymore.
Josh Allen has 100 million guaranteed.
What's Josh Allen's total contract though?
258. Dak actually, I think, has the best guarantee. Well, Kirk Cousins has a hell of a fucking deal too. Kirk Cousins' deal was 66 mil, 61 of it guaranteed. That's a good fucking deal.
I feel like Kirk Cousins understands Kirk Cousins. He's like, I don't want incentives. I just want the money.
Just give me the money. Give me the money.
Don't give me incentives. Just give me the money.
Yeah, I need to dig into this one a little bit more. It's a nice website.
What would be a fun thing to do at some point is maybe take a look at some of these quarterbacks that didn't sign. Like, we got Baker, we got Lamar Jackson, some of these guys who are coming up on extensions, and kind of think it like just trying to negotiate what a good deal for them would be. Because you look around the league, man, and I really hope I'm comfortable, like, as long as Stefanski stays in Cleveland, riding in, ride or dying with Baker Mayfield, as long as he understands that he can't get Josh Allen money. You know what I'm saying? Like, if Baker Mayfield's cool with like 20 million a year, then let's do it. Like, if he wants to sign a 5-year, 100 million, 40 something million guaranteed, cool. If he wants,
so
Dak money or
just for reference, right? Like Derek Carr, Tom Brady makes 25 mil, right? Average per year. Derek Carr makes 25, Stafford 27, Garoppolo 27, Tannehill 29, Matt Ryan 30, Wentz 32, Cousins 33. Like, you're looking at 30 for Baker. Like, that's a legitimate contract for Baker. It's 30 mil. He starts pushing up past Russell Wilson, which is 35. Nah.
right.
Nah. You don't pay that. But we'll see. We'll see what they do.
Yeah, we'll see.
So do we have another game, or is that it?
No, I think it's time for the lightning round.
All right. Let's start Eagles Panthers.
Oof. It's at Carolina, right?
At Carolina.
What's
McCaffrey's still questionable.
Still questionable. What's the line?
-3 for Carolina.
So it's basically a toss-up. I think just because Carolina's at home, I'll take Carolina.
I'm going to take Carolina because I'm done picking the Eagles. That's the only reason, right? But legitimately speaking, like, I think the Eagles are better than their record. I think, but I also think they earn their record. Like they average way too many penalties a game and costly ones, right? Like, it's not just little, this, that, the other thing. That and their offensive line is decimated again. Like, don't know when Lane Johnson's coming back. He's out getting treatment for whatever. Kudos to him. Get the help you need. Come back stronger, hopefully. I think Mailata might be back. Let's see. Let's see who's injured. Nope. No. So Peters is still out and Lane's out. Other than that, the rest of their line is back. So is Brandon Brooks back? No. Let's see if their line's back. I know.
Football trash talk. The Football Trash Talk for Real Fans podcast is where you come for that deep Eagles offensive line conversation.
Well, it's pitiful and it bothers the fuck out of me. Yeah, so we'll see. They got a rookie starting at left guard, and they got Nate Herbig.
Yeah, I think the Panthers take this one. It'll be close. It'll be like a
Panthers should win this game.
It'll be a field goal or like 4 points, something like that. But I think they take this one.
Jets Falcons are 9:30 a.m. game from London.
Not gonna be up for that game. I'll say Falcons. I think they're if nothing else, I think they're more offensively consistent. I got Cordell Patterson starting in all my fantasy leagues that I have him in. I think they take it. And I you know what? I'll even say they're going to win by at least a touchdown.
I agree. Unless the win is something that brings the Jets back together, but I think their win was an anomaly. I think the Falcons should have beat New York. They just let up for some reason. They lost in overtime.
Falcons did beat New York.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did. New York's only beaten
New Orleans. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my bad. Yeah, Atlanta wins.
So are we really projecting the Falcons to have more wins on the season than the Chiefs? What is going on this year? That gives the Falcons 3 wins.
Ooh. Oof. No, it doesn't. It gives them 2 wins.
No, they beat the Giant. Oh, they only have 1 win? Okay, you're right. My bad. Never mind. Tied with the Chiefs still.
Tied with the Chiefs. Lions, Falcons, or Vikings.
So I picked the Lions last week and got smoked. I think the Vikings are gonna think Delvin Cook's back. I think the Vikings have too much of an offense for the Lions to hang with. I see Vikings in this one.
Do you see Vikings by 10?
No, because Kirk Cousins is their quarterback.
I mean, Vikings are going to win the game, but I'm putting a shoebox down on the Detroit to cover.
Yeah, I can see Vikings by a touchdown, but not by 10.
Yeah. Steelers Broncos in Pittsburgh. Denver's favored by 1.5.
Yeah, you know what? Until the Steelers show me something resembling an offense, their defense is there, but you can't rely on a pick 6 or a blocked punt for return for a touchdown to win games. Till the Steelers offense shows me anything resembling consistency, I'm just going to keep picking against them. So I'm going to say Broncos in a close one, but Broncos nonetheless.
Broncos in a close one. But they're going to win. I agree.
Yeah.
Dolphins, Bucks.
Do
we even need to go any further?
Won't be close.
Washington hosting the Saints.
Man, how far has Jameis Winston fallen?
Interesting game, though, man. For real, like we all expected the Washington's defense to be like top notch, but they're giving the edge to New Orleans.
What's the line?
2.5
for New Orleans.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it depends on what Jameis Winston shows up. And what does it say about Taysom Hill? Because I always thought he was kind of a decent. He did fine last year. I don't know why they're sitting like Winston's done nothing since week 1, really. He looked all world in week 1 and has looked like the Jameis Winston we all know and love since then. I'm going to go ahead and pick Washington in the upset.
I'm going to take New Orleans. I think they had the better. Their defense is playing better. The Washington football team is giving up 30.5 points a game on defense. And their defense was supposed to be their strong suit. I'm going to go New Orleans.
I think it depends on which Jameis Winston shows up.
Of course.
Yeah, and recent weeks just doesn't have me feeling like the right one's going to show up. So I'll say, again, another close game, and we're getting to that point where everyone just starts winning by field goals. But I think Washington is just enough to win this one, especially because they're at home.
Titans, Jags.
Titans bounce back. Jaguars are a mess this week. I mean, they got the Urban thing going on. They're winless on the season. Urban apparently, like every report says, Urban doesn't have the respect of the locker room. Urban needs to just resign. He hasn't. It's a distraction. Titans are angry over their loss last week. Derrick Henry goes off. Titans by a touchdown.
I think the team quits on Urban this week, which I think sets him up to be the first head coach being fired. You know, like there's no respect for that, right? Like,
right.
I mean, if you weren't married, maybe, you know, maybe you get away with that in the locker room, but you're a married dude, man. You can't be having some chick grinding up on you in a bar.
Right.
I think it's his bar too. I think
it is. Yeah, he owns a couple. I think he owns a couple steakhouses type deals in Columbus.
Yeah, they're a train wreck, man.
Yeah.
Patriots, Texans. Patriots.
Yeah, I think Mac Jones showed me something next week. I think this is where he starts his rookie of the year campaign. Well, he started it last week. I think he continues it this week. Patriots roll. What's the line?
The line is Patriots by 8.5. Davis Mills is starting. Tyrod Taylor's still not back. Bill Belichick owns rookie quarterbacks. Davis Mills is in trouble.
Yeah. And he finds a way to take away their best offensive weapon, which means Cooks won't be a factor in this game. Yeah, Patriots roll.
Even with their stud quarterback Jalen Mills out, Patriots will roll. Bears, Raiders, we didn't do that one.
No, we have not, and it's going to be Raiders.
It's going to be Raiders all day.
Yeah, until shown anything resembling life by the Bears. Their defense is good enough to keep a couple of these games close, but the Raiders, I think, are going to be angry after their loss, and their defense. I think their defense is going to put up numbers similar to the Browns. Their defense really showed me something last Monday night. So, yeah, Raiders. What's the line?
5.5. That's a Raider line.
I'm going to say Raiders by 10. I don't normally make that type of prediction. I say Raiders by 10.
All right. Colts, Ravens to wrap it up. It's got to be Baltimore. I mean, why are we even thinking here?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of any way where I would say that the Colts would win. I just don't see it. So yeah, Baltimore. And they're probably going to win handily too. I'll say they win by a touchdown.
And the Ravens are looking to set the all-time 100-yard a game rushing mark. So I think they're going to run the ball heavy. I think Lamar gets wild. I would love to see the Colts win this game. I just don't think they can.
I mean, for your sake, I just hope Wentz doesn't get injured. That's really every Colts.
That's it. That's it. Just don't get hurt. Just keep
on playing.
Be a game manager. I mean, he's not having a bad season. He's got 920 yards, 5 TDs versus 1 interception. That's not terrible.
I guess I don't understand the Monday night schedule. Like, just out of you got Browns, Chargers, you got Niners, Cardinals, even Giants, Cowboys. Just seems like a more Monday night game to me than Colts, Ravens.
Preseason wise, with Carson coming in there was an expectation that the Colts were going to be better than they were last year. Pretty much everybody was saying this, right? They weren't, me included. They weren't expecting the Colts to be 1-3. The Ravens are 3-1, so they're a prime. It's Lamar Jackson. They're a primetime team. Obviously you're going to put them on Monday night when you have a chance. It seemed like a good game when they set the schedule. It's just not.
I don't understand why they can't flex Monday nights.
It's already set in stone, man. There's too much money in Monday Night Football.
That's fair.
And people are still going to watch. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's true. I'll catch bits and pieces. Maybe Lamar will injure his other hip, flipping in the end zone. Anyway, man, I'm gonna get going. We'll get this up. We gotta get this up early so that way it doesn't sound like we waited till the start of the Falcons game. So
as soon as it's done, I'll send you the audio.
Yep.
All right.
All right, catch. So next, real quick, show note. I'm actually going to be in Vegas, and I got stuff going till like 8 o'clock, so I won't be available next week. I'll be back by Friday. I'll be able to.
You got to tell them that you need to take an hour at like 4 on a Tuesday. Come on.
Middle of the class, just be like, listen.
In the middle, is class going to be at 4 o'clock?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, they're sessions. It's not class. I keep calling them classes, but yeah, we have different like sessions that we go to about different things. I think that's my hat. Like so my job specifically, I do a lot of the financial planning aspect of it.
Right.
And it's kind of the how to make better use of the programs we use. So the class to miss, right? Be like, listen, guys, I got prior commitments.
Send your picks in.
Yeah, I'll send them in. You and Atticus rock it out. I don't know how I'll be able to do the audio either because I'm not gonna have my laptop with me. But we'll figure it out.
All right.
All right, man. I'll see you Friday.
All right. Have a good one. Enjoy tomorrow.
I will. Take it easy, man.
Later.